On this, I'm joined by Democratic strategist and the president of Solidarity Strategies, Chuck Rocha, and Matt Schlapp, chairman of the American Conservative Union. Thanks for being here. This Florida Senate race is now, well, Chuck, it's off to the races. It's going to be an expensive one. Both of these candidates are going to have to find votes outside of their base. Who do you think is better positioned to do that?
Look, I'm a good Democrat, and I think Mr. Senator Nelson is. And I think that's something that's not being talked about is the Latino vote in Florida. You have two white guys running in a state that's got a lot of Latinos and so diverse. And Matt can probably speak to this as well as I can, because there's a big difference between Cubans in Miami, who tend to be more conservative, and Puerto Ricans in Central Florida around the Orlando area. There's a whole new growing group of young Latinos that are coming of age that don't know either one of these guys. Whoever does the best outreach there, I think, will be the determining factor of what happens in this race.
Matt, Florida, boy, you and I know Florida very well, right?
Right.
It's always tough. Razor-thin margins that Rick Scott has won by. And some people think that Senator Bill Nelson has really never had a really tough Republican opponent, and that Rick Scott just might be the type of person that can beat him in this race. What do you think?
I think that the money advantage that Rick Scott has, he's a man of personal wealth, and he's been willing to put it on the line as he's run for governor of Florida, and he's going to be willing to do that as he runs to represent Florida in the Senate. And I think that is going to be a new and unique aspect to this race that Senator Nelson's going to have to wrestle with. I also think Rick Scott has one very clear advantage is, you know what, Dana, this is not a big shock, but people don't like Washington, D.C. Matter of fact, a lot of people now refer to it as the swamp. And anytime you're an outsider running to be in Congress, you've got an advantage, especially over a longtime incumbent who can be tied to all the problems that exist.
Let me ask you about Facebook real quick, Chuck, because Mark Zuckerberg released a prepared statement that he's going to use tomorrow at the House Energy and Commerce Committee that says Facebook is an idealistic and optimistic company. For most of our existence, we focus on all the good that connecting people can bring. It's clear now that we didn't do enough to prevent these tools from being used for harm as well. I do think that in many ways Facebook, and especially Mark Zuckerberg, is idealistic to a point that it's endearing, but tomorrow about to face a Mack truck of cynicism.
You're going to see a lot of people who are upset. 2.1 billion people globally go to Facebook every month. Over 1 billion people go to Facebook every day. We've never had to deal with this on a global scale. We used to talk about the old NBC, ABC, Fox back in the day. Nobody can reach as many people as Facebook can and have the influence that they can have over every aspect of our life. So he better be prepared, because I think he's going to get it from both sides.
But, Matt, conservatives are sort of reluctant to think that government can actually solve the problem. Can the swamp step in here and help protect Americans or other users from the evils of Facebook?
Yeah, of course. So look, as conservatives, we also believe in oversight. Now, maybe liberals want to use this oversight so they can regulate both Google and Facebook and some of these other big media or online companies. But there's another side to this, which is to shine a light on the fact that companies like Facebook and Google know all these personal things about you, know all the things you search for online. They know what your heart is searching for online. They literally know that private information, and they monetize it, and they track you. And there comes a point where people get very disquieted with the idea that companies have so much personal information, and what are the boundaries to how they use that personal information? What we're learning is there's no boundaries at all. Right.
Well, I'm going to have you back, and we'll talk about personal responsibility and all of this another time, because I'm running out and I got to wrap you. Chuck Rocha.